Oh, yeah, so what are we doing? What are we doing? Um, so, the big thing is, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What is this place? What is this place? So for one, I want to do new, and then I want to save it. And I want to do General Kenobi. So here's the thing. Right? What we want to do is we have this, and then we have a list of. Oops. I think I just want to do this. Well, I have some ideas first in my mind. So. So what ideas do we want? We have a few. Alright, so we have tungsten. That's not how you spell tungsten. I also want the study tool. This one's gonna be interesting. What else do I want? I mean, there's a few. And what else do I want? This from the study tool to tungsten to what else? Fucking. Huh. Bro. Yeah. Yeah, we have the study tool, we have tungsten, and we want something. I could have sworn there's. Oh, yeah. We wanted, what was it? The, uh, not good. Alright, so let's take a look at the study tool. Alright, so let's, so the study tool, and I've been, like, chatting with Claude for this, right? Because the main thing that I want the study tool to do is I want it to effectively deliver I want it to deliver Interesting. Hmm. Cool. I want to deliver. Um. Right. I want it to. I want to wake the fuck up. I'm very tired. Very EP. Very EP Foxo. Right. Because we have. How do I fuck formulate my words? Oh, how do I formulate my words? Uh, hmm. Oatmeal. Hmm. That's something I could do. I mean, it's also something I could do. Fuck so people. Okay. So what we have, what we want, is we want a Bayesian updater. Right? Um. So we have every term, right? You know, for instance, we have, Coco. Um, has an alpha, a beta, an alpha, a beta, a lambda, and some set of weights. Now, basically, the way that this works, right, is that we have, because like what we want is the tool is just something that the tool is just something that just kind of exists, right? Um, the tool is not a very smart tool. All that it does is it handles terms. Right? And basically what I would want to do is to deliver packs of terms, and you can just launch these term packs with um yeah, and it's just like a massive fucking table of shit, right? Um, so what we would want to see is that as you learn terms, they get stale and because like you have two axes, I'd expect there to be you have two axes. Right. So we have the red axis is, is known, and the green axis is learn. Right? So if an object. So if something like um, so so if you have so you have like the learn versus known, and if you have um what the fuck am I going for? So you have these kinds of regions, right? So if you have so if you know something very very well, right? Like for instance, you know, the term coup. I know coup. I know um I know uh you know um kore. Right. I know kore. Right. I know these terms very very well. So the probability of me, you know, getting served these things would be very, very low. So the probability that I see these terms is very low. Say, you know, I have the term, I mean, I do know calculus very well, but say someone else doesn't, you know, say they're learning math, calculus would exist down here because you'd have to know algebra, and algebra would bring this into, you know, algebra. Knowing more and more algebra would end up bringing this towards, bring this up. Learning algebra would bring this up into here. Because as something goes up, as a term rises, it becomes more likely that it is going to be presented as novel, as the higher up it goes, the more it's going to be introduced. Right? And then as you get more and more terms correct, it crosses through here into, like, as you, right, as you get terms correct, as the more it is presented, the more it is presented, the more it is pushed into noun, right? As you get terms incorrect, it gets dropped down here, right? Like as you go through it, it kind of swings through here, and then finally you understand what these terms. Um, right. So let's say let's say let's take a look at like an actual term. All right. So we have coal. kore. Right? Let's take a look. Kore. Oh shit. Kore. Yeah. Yeah. Kore. Right. We have this term. At first, it is in this region, right? As we learn hiragana and katakana, right? As we go through some other terms, it gets raised up. So, the starting terms live up here. Future terms live down here, right? With like initial sets and stuff. So we learn more and more. We start learning how to read kore, right? We start getting these terms correct. Boom, bam, cool. We are confident in being able to read kore, right? We can read kore. We are able to learn it, right? We have learned the individual components of kore. We are starting to, we've also learned things like are and sore, right? But we know that, we have been presented it. Cool. Right? We're presented it. We get an immediate test, right? Because I think the main thing is that we want to know we are presented the information, right? We are presented the information as novel. Bam. Kore means here, right? Means something, means like a thing here. Also, koko is very similar as well. Cool. We have gotten it correct. Now, certain like other terms, could like maybe I'm struggling with this concept, right? I'm struggling with this concept, so I get it wrong. Instead of it being pushed out here, right? I still need to learn it. We'll learn versus known, and then the learn drops as you get terms correct. Because what we want it to be like this. We want it to be like this. As you get terms, like as you see terms, like as you get terms, right? Right, here is the land of ambiguity, right? We want to see, we want to learn, we want to know that. Ooh, presenting terms in and of themselves are just along the learn axis, right? As you to present them, and just whether or not you are unknown and versus known is the axis of whether or not you do things, right? So in the unknown and unlearned, we have this area here. This is in the land of future. This is where most future terms are, right? So as we learn the individual components, it gets pushed up into learn. You can get more and more likely that they're going to be presented, since they're unknown. They're presented as a lesson, right? This is what this means. Cool. We do a little test, and then we say, hey, look, we get pressed out here. As we do more and more tests, right? And fill them with confidence, right? Learn is pulled down and dropped into view. right? Say that we're kind of struggling. It's still kept up and to learn, right? But if we're struggling it a lot and we're forgetting terms very quickly, it gets pulled down into here, right? And this is like kind of where we want it to drop through here. Um, and then like, yeah, we expect it to like drop down too, but it can either pass through here or it can, as you keep getting things incorrect, it comes up here. As you get things correct, it drops down here, and then the probability of it being presented is very low. And like I feel like that's how it should be. I need to figure out exactly what the mechanisms for that is. Because I would expect it to be a very autonomously dynamic system, and this would be something that's very good for people with ADHD, people with autism, and just neurodivergent individuals. Because a lot of having a strict schedule doesn't work for us. Um, it's very antagonistic for us to learn things because it breeds. Oh, hey, shirt. Yo, I'm doing all right. How about you? How's the fruit? I'm just going through. I'm just planning out some some things. Popping in, trying support. Oh, I appreciate it. I'm planning out some other side projects that I want to do, like a learning tool. A learning tool that's specifically designed for people with like autism and ADHD in a way that's actually going to be actually fucking useful. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. Yeah, I would be too. Yeah, I would definitely like make your presence known, but not necessarily be. Yeah, I'm gonna be tailoring it more for like language learning. So like things like Japanese at first because that's something that is literally the reason why I want to do this. Because every single tool that I've seen so far, all the tools that are actually worth a shit are not free. And I don't have any fucking money, right? So I'm gonna be making a tool that is, I will be packaging it with like Japanese at first, and there's like ways of because I want to make it so that you can load in your own terms. So you could do like Japanese, you could do math, you could do chemistry, physics, whatever the fuck, right? Um, and the whole point of it is that its only job is to present terms to you in a way that is, um, yeah, it's just to present terms to you that you are very likely to have forgotten. The first generation will be just do your own pools so that you'd have very strict pooling, and then I think because that's going to be super easy to do, right? The pooling, like the incomplete model, you'd have a set of T1, T2, um, TN, right? And then here, you have um, your set where you have your front, your back, your alpha, your beta. You have your lambda, and you have your time t, your timestamp. TL, right? This is all the information that you have for each term. And basically what happens is you just open up the tool, right? And then it just presents you with the term. And you, yeah. I mean, that's why I'm kind of explaining it, right? So you open up the tool and it's, so you open up the tool and it just presents you with the term, and then you give the answer to it, right? I'm going to say that there would be like a, I mean, there's a few different ways of doing it. You can either say, here's a term, and then you internally try and say what the answer is, and then it shows you the answer, and then you mark if you got it right or wrong. I think that'll be the easiest way of handling it. It's a lot more, like some people would say, oh, it's super easy to mess with and stuff, but if you do, then that's on you. And then it updates the time t, and it updates everything, right? Alpha is correct. Beta is wrong, right? Number correct, number wrong. Lambda is decay term, and time t is last seen. So what happens is your alpha, right? Like what this is doing is that it's essentially trying to calculate the likelihood that you've forgotten a term, right? Essentially, it's basically each term is given a score of the probability that you would be able to retrieve that term immediately in that moment. And so like alpha is times equals, yeah, right, and like that's a much more, like, that is a much more useful metric in learning something than just having a strict queue or a strict schedule or anything like that, right? So we have alpha times e to the okay, and then you have like you have a bunch of shit, and like k is metered against times delta time, delta t, and stuff like that, right? There's like a bunch of shit going on here, a bunch of fucking math stuff. I need to take a look at Claude for the actual math, but like your number of correct decay over time, the rate at which it decays slower and slower the more the longer the more and more you get correct, right? And it's like a self-regulating model. So as you do it more, and then also because it's based off of, and since it's based off of delta time, there's diminishing returns, right? So if you just cram for like 30 minutes or whatever, it's only going to update very, very minutely, right? You need to have spaced retrieval. Cramming does help, right? If you study the same term, if you sit down and spend 10 minutes on one term in a single sitting, like, you're going to burn that shit in your fucking, right? But that is also a lot less useful, but you're also going to forget that term very quickly, right? You'll have a boost, you'll you'll raise the you'll raise the right, you'll raise it very, you'll push it up very high, in your, or you push it up very high, right? It'll like start here, and then you'll bring it up here, but it'll decay very quickly, right? Yeah, there's diminishing returns, right? And this is how, and these are all things that we have metrics for, right? Like we've done studies on how people learn and the rate at which we forget stuff, right? Yeah. And then, so as you learn, right? So as you continue to go through um and do more and more timed, spaced out, right? You start seeing a curve that looks more like this, and then more like that, and then more like that, until eventually, you're basically flat, right? And this is the progression of curves that we see in things like your first language, right? Where, things just kind of stick around. I mean, granted, you can still forget, parts of your native tongue, right? If you haven't heard or used a word in long enough, you'll completely forget that it exists, right? And it takes a lot of effort to retrieve that information. So instead of building a tool that's based around how we think people learn, I'm building a tool governed by how we know people forget, right? So everything about it is modeled around the mathematics behind how we forget things. And the tool is just built around these things that we have data, right? We have actual fucking data for, right? We have literal data around that. So, it'll be, so that's something, and this is just something that I'm going to be, working on. And I think the first generation is just going to be a flashcard thing where, it says, on the front, right? On the front, it just has, Kore, and then, all right, and then on the back, it just says, here, right? So, in that way, it'll be, and then that way it's just going to be a lot easier to do stuff, right? Because then, and then it'll just have like a button that says, you just have a button, right? Right. Pass fail, and you just mark it yourself. And if you cheat, then you're only cheating yourself, right? Like, it's a tool to help people learn properly. So it's not going to be like gamified or anything like that. So, and there's like a few things that I can show to help give user feedback with like the change in, the internal update, so that as you see this delta going down, this delta dropping. Yeah, I mean, like, if you cheat, then you're only cheating yourself, right? Like, it's fucking whatever. It's a learning tool. Like, if you want to cheat at learning, then fucking by all means, right? You're only playing yourself, right? So, right, like it's not. So I'm not worried about, you know, cheating or exploiting things and meh, right. I mean, this tool's going to be free, so yeah. Um. So yeah, that's something that I would want to do because like I want to. I can. There we go. I just need to write hiragana more. Right. So there's that. I think the first one will just be a simple flashcard um kind of system. Because like I have the math of it because there's another one that I want to do, like another version that I want to do. Yeah, because there's like another version I want to do that's um multi-dimensional because what is it? It's like the kanji for tree is this, and the kanji for forest is right. So this kind of relationship happens all the time in a lot of different places, right? There's this kind of relationship of like one something is built up from something is like a multiple copies of something else or whatever the hell. Um, and being able to tie these together loosely, like loosely tie them together, is something that I'd want to do as well. So that you'd end up having this massive pool of terms and their interconnectivity and stuff. Yeah, cool. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's fair. I totally understand the coding and stuff not supplying enough dopamine. Um, that's totally fair. But yeah, so like you have this interconnectivity between terms, and being able to embed that would be something that would be really cool. Um, and then you could just build whole like completely self-regulated lessons and essentially classes that like for like self-learning, understanding how to learn properly, right? Because like I'm struggling to learn Japanese, and a big part of that is um for certain things I need more frequent review, and like the spaced repetition stuff is not quite metered out properly. I need tighter windows and things like that, and that's not something that there's only a certain level of granularity that I have at my disposal to mess with that stuff. Yada, etc. etc. Um, so it's very difficult to so I'm starting to hit a wall. Being able to read hiragana and katakana has been super easy for me, but like learning kanji and other things like that. Well, I mean, I haven't even really gotten. I need to go through other terms first. And that's another thing. Like, what if I just wanted to do kanji? Right? If I wanted to pick up and learn kanji, um, I kind of can't right now because I'm at the whims of, Renshu and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's why I want to build this tool so that I myself can do better at learning. So, Because I want to learn Japanese. You know, I like learning things. Um, and stuff. So, there's that. How long have I been at this? 40 minutes? God, I'm fucking cold, dude. God damn. It's been very rainy here. I'm gonna go throw on a sweater. It's fucking sweater weather. What? Alright, so, um, yeah, the nut get is something. I mean, I'll get into that because I want that to be a diff, right? I want that to be diff based, but but I also think that that's going to be, but I also think that that's going to be. I think this is going to be after tungsten because I think I want to because I need to look into how to do like actual hosting for something like this or a repository like this. Um, because I want to have, you know, a repo and stuff along those lines. All right. Oh. So, so these are all things, that I want to do. Tungsten, I've been kind of working on over time, off stream mostly, working on tungsten and stuff. This learning tool, like I have the full system mostly there. I think I want to kind of sit down and look through it again. Because I think I had a really good baseline at one point. Um, I just have to refine what I had going on. Right. So let's go into open recent. Oops. We have a few things I don't like about. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of things here. I don't really know. Um. Yeah. Huh. Oh. This goes into another terminal. Interesting. And this is QTerm. And it opens it up in a new terminal. Interesting. Cool. Um. Yeah. Take a look at what we have so far. Fuck. Right. Projects, love. Um. Oh, actually. CD projects. There we go. God, I love this. Looks so good. So goddamn good. uh, looks really nice. Looks absolutely incredible. Yeah, having these emissive lines is really cool. I'm not gonna keep it for the final project. I mean, I want to have that as a thing that you can turn on and off. Alright. Um, hmm. Hmm. Yeah, so there's a few different reasons why I don't like the static in this form. Right? So in this raw form, the static is very binary. Which I don't really like. I don't love that. I don't like how strictly on or off it is, right? Um, like I do for the distant regions, right? That is absolutely intended for the distant regions. It's just that for the mid-range, I don't want it to be like that. And that's kind of like a huge problem that I'm seeing with this that I want to fix. Um, but being able to easily Because what I would want to do is have. I mean, I could do. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to. I'll have to. Have to think about it. I like the emissive edges. Ambient inclusion. This is cool. Getting very eepy though. Took me a while to get to sleep last night, which is unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is. A very eepy foxo. Mm. Way too strong. Fucking turbo coffee here. Mm. Oh, that's much better. All right. Mm. No, this definitely looks really good. Looks really cool. I don't know if I'm gonna be. Well, I mean, I know for a fact I'm not going to. I'm not gonna be like keeping this as, you know, um, yeah, I'm not gonna be keeping this as a. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna be keeping this. I do want to. The corners, man. The corners. I want them corners. Sharp, sharp, sharp corners. I don't really like that. I don't know how I feel about that. It'd be nicer if those were like rounded off, right? But I'm also not entirely sure how I would do that. Yeah. So here is the maximum of dxxy. Here we have that. So what? I mean, because we could do things a little bit differently, right? So we could say, hmm. I mean, it's a little bit hard. Well, actually, not really, because all that we need to do is just find out. Um, so we could take. So the x plane. If we're looking down the x plane, then we're only looking at the y. Cool. All right. So we can have. Yeah. Okay. So we can also take a look at things like on the corner and stuff, because I want to have a more flexible. I want to have a more flexible, like edge detector, The edge detector that we have is not great. It's very, very rigid, not very flexible, it's not very good. Mm. Okay. Okay. So, what exactly is it that I want to pull off? What exactly is it I want to do? How much longer do I want to stream this morning? So I might just turn in early and take a nap. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, because I could do. So. Invoke 3 UVT in its plane in IVEC 2. So, right. So, um, well, I mean, one of the things we could do is we could just say here, right? Because this is the actual. Right, this is guaranteed to be the true distance, right, to the nearest anything, right? And then right at the very end, we could say t is equal to the plane, right? Um, see what this looks like. Blown with fuck up, right? So what is that? Go to the get edge distance or get color, get edge distance. What? Monday. Huh? Um. Oh. Hmm. Hmm. What's going on here? What am I doing wrong? Cause it's in here. Get color. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's great. Nande. Why? Um. Hmm. Hmm. There was. Yeah. Hmm. There's. How the did I do that? Whatever. There's like a way to navigate up and down in the window very, very effectively and efficiently. But I forget how to do it. Oh. Oh. Hmm. Um. Mhm. Mhm. Hmm. So why? Okay. E equals UBT. Let's try that. Okay. So, yeah. Mm. Okay. Because I think what I could do is I could say, um, oh, hello. Um, better, yeah, better corner stuff. So here, I mean, this looks cool. Not gonna lie, this looks cool. Um, harsh tiles, you know, this is pretty neat. I kind of want to see this in, uh, forget how to do the navigations. Oh, where's the, get color? There it is. Divided by one dot. How you doing, co-op? Something like that, yeah. Solution blocks. That's not what? Nonde. Wait, hold on. What? What? Nani? Nonde. What? What did I do wrong? Motherfucker. What? Uh-huh. Okay. So I guess that just works. Das gut. Das ist gut. Glowy floors. All the way. So it goes from 0 to 2. Oh, and it's like multiplied and shit. Weird. Strange. Oh no. I know what's going on there. Interesting. ¿Por qué? Why? Okay. The fuck up. What the hell did I do wrong? Because it's like what the... Yeah, I want the maximum of... Oh, that's right, okay. Gotcha. The maximum of what? There we go. I think that's correct. There we go. Ah, yes. And then I subtract the whole thing. I take that and I subtract. Yeah. There we go. That's how it works. Now we have it. Proper. Alright, so now we have all these lines in the places that we want. Alright. And I should be able to reconstruct exactly what I had before, but with better lines. Alright. I'm gonna look that up. Ugh. Go to character. Character. Oops. Um. Mm. God fucking son of a bitch, dog. Fucking. Are you goddamn kidding me? Are you fucking shitting me? Oh, now the time that it would actually be useful for you to be forcing fucking AI mode, you're not gonna do that. Go to. It's not fucking stupid. Use AI mode! The one time! The one time it would actually be fucking useful. You just don't have the ability to? The one fucking time it would actually be useful, you're just gonna say no. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. How do you fuck up so goddamn bad? This thing that you've been shoving down everyone's goddamn throats. That's not... AI mode. Let me go into AI. What the fuck is going on? I'm gonna lose my fucking goddamn mind. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna fucking lose it. The one goddamn time. Because now... not everything is well suited, right? The single best use case for AI mode is being able to summarize content on websites that are intended for desktop when you're on mobile. That is the use case for this. Okay? I am on mobile. I am fucking on mobile. I have a very simple fucking question. How do I navigate my shit? Is there like a manuals? Run shell command, primary... I don't... Is there not a fucking... I'm gonna fucking crash out, dog. I'm not fucking happy. Is has AI mode literally just been fucking yoinked? Is there no more AI mode? Really? The one time. The actual one fucking time it's actually useful. The one fucking time it's actually useful. Are you fucking kidding me? Did they yoink it? Is it like not a fucking thing anymore? I can't necessarily always go. I can't rely on fucking Firefox on my fucking laptop to go to label and Helix. GW. Thank you. Okay. So I can do something like that. Cool. They got rid of AI mode. Google got rid of AI mode. I mean, they got rid of AI mode. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The implications have washed over me. Yes. My frustrations for the lack of a tool has waned. My excitement for the AI bubble to pop is growing. Why does my shit keep fucking... Alright. Let's maybe turn this down a little bit. Keeps fucking clipping. I don't like it. I don't like it. Alright. So we have the edge disk, we have minimum, we have that. Yada yada yada. Cool, cool, cool. Now, what we need to do is we need to say, um, so, vec 2p is equal to cell plus uvt dot xy. And then we have, because what we want to do, fuck. Well, I mean, the XY part, right? Because what we're doing is we want to do, we want to add the two situations together, right? And we do that by figuring out if it is different. Now, this is going to cause a problem with internal space. So yeah. So if the two are, there's kind of two different. Ow. Okay. So, so, because we can do this, right? Map this shit out. Yeah, there we go. So this is actually exactly what we want. Now what we want to do is we want to mask out anything that is the same. But these corners. So, and these outer corners. Right, that's where things get weird. Um, so for this situation, it's like fine. But it's also not. Right? But yeah, AI mode has been removed from Google. From Google search. Kind of sucks, but also that's a good thing. I mean, it's objectively a good thing. Like there is no, there's no two ways about it. I am genuinely happy about that. But that does mean that I can reliably get into fire farms for at least short periods of time, which is good. So I don't think I need to rely on my phone quite as much. There's a bit of a sharp doobler there. So that is something to keep in mind. So we are detecting the edges properly. Yeah, this is a lot thinner. That's much better, right? Um, I mean, we could do it even harder, better, stronger, faster. 64. Okay, yeah. Alright, so this is fine. I like this. This shit right here fucking slaps. Alright. Um, so the big thing is these outer corners, right? So the outer corners, the hmm. So Ugh. Oh, still very cold. Hmm. So how do we select? And I think the easiest way of doing it is that we start selecting in terms of differences, right? Hmm. So, how do we detect? How do we detect? Because there's. How do we detect like similarity and stuff, right? Because like this is something that's because there's also along the Z plane, aka the XY plane. There's hmm, how hmm. Okay. So hmm. Okay. 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 Oh, whoa! Does not like that. Okay. Come here, Sky. Um. Okay. 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 Um. What? Okay. Um. The Legend of Zelda OST has been ruined all for me, which is a shame because it absolutely fucking sucks. Hooray for trauma and abuse. Alright, so we have a region here, we have a region here, and we have a region here. So basically, if we have something, and because we know for a fact that no matter what happens, no matter what, your intersection, we know we have some invariance. We have some invariance. For one, we know that no matter what, the intersection, the point that is given is somewhere within that dotted square. Guaranteed. All right. We are asserting that. We know that. That is a given. That is a known fact of the matter. Because we generate what cells to be checking based off. Um okay, okay. So the left hand side, right? This side So this side is 1 minus x. This side is x, right? And then we multiply, right? And we take so on the x-plane, it is, yeah. Yeah. And we can like ignore a bunch of other shit, right? It doesn't really matter. So, because we are only looking at these four cells because of how we're splitting everything up. So this one is what? 1 minus x times, right? Because we have an A, B, C, D, right? 1 minus x times if times if these two are the same times if B is equal to D, right? And we can do that by saying times, right? It is 1 minus x times 1 minus B minus D, right? Um, okay. And here we have, I mean, we will be changing, we will be changing some stuff. Here it is x times 1 minus A minus C. Right here, it'll be this is so here and here. This is, we multiply 1 minus y by 1 minus A minus B. Now, and this is y 1 minus C minus D. Okay. And then we just take like the minimum, right? Because we can just take the minimum of these two. Right, so since x is the minimum of x times 1 minus A minus C and 1 minus x times 1 minus B minus D, y is equal to the min of y times 1 minus C minus D 1 minus y times 1 minus a minus b. Right? Cool. So we have those. So we can do that. So what about the outer corner? Right? What if we only have one? Right? What if we only have one thing? Right? What if we have this? And our cell is, and our intersection point is in here. Alright? This is where shit gets weird. Um, so in this case, we will have a gradient this way, and we will have a gradient this way. This will proc. So now, if okay, so if we have a point here on the x-axis, what is the x-axis going to do? The x-axis is going to say B and D. So we will have a thing like that and a thing like that. It will be coming off of these. Cool. So this point is going to be getting both of these. Now, what's going to happen here? What's going to be happening if we do this? Right? Well, the situation here is that it's still going to be doing that. Right? It's still going to be doing that. So and this is where things get kind of weird, right? Because how do we differentiate? Because if there's only one wall, then we want to have 1 minus the maximum of x y, I do believe. Or, right? Or just like the maximum of x minus y. Or the maximum of x and y. To have that, or, but if it's just 1, but if it's 3, then it's the min. Right? Um, and that difference is very interesting, right? Um, because we can also say that the if it's just the outer side, then it's 1 minus x times y, and this is just x times y. So or it's probably like 0.5 minus or some shit, right? Or like 1 minus 1 minus 0.5 minus something like that. No. Yeah, it's some shit because it's like actually from the other end or some shit. I don't know. It's something. Hmm. But I don't think it's gonna work properly. Like it might, but okay. Hmm. I mean, the other option. The other option is that you just have, instead of it being a multiply, we just do an add. Right? If we do um, right, yeah. So we have an add here. Let's do. Okay, so here we have that, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because that would, right? That would work. If we do the addition, yeah, if we did addition, that would work. Right? If we did addition, it would work. Hmm. because we noticed that the shape is the same whether it's on the inside or the outside. So addition works perfectly fine. And then all that we need to do is say along the x, along the y. Right? If we know that if we have the understanding, right? If we have the understanding, okay, so we know that it's going to be x plus y, which means that q, what do we want to do? These two are the same. And it's also the absolute value, right? So it's the absolute value of, or like the x axis, and we're not going to do this, right? Because it's going to be, because it's going to say, it's going to take this distance, right? And that's fine. Um, because, right, and that's like what, 0.75, something like that. Um, so x is 0 equal to 0.75, y is equal to 0.25. Right. That's what that is going to be. Then what kind of thing do we want to do there? Because minimum would work fine, right? Minimum would work perfectly okay in this case. It would work completely right out of the gate. But addition will not. Right? Not that some clamping or other conditions. Because what you could do. Easy clamp it. Yeah, like clamp it to one. Or you clamp it to a half. Right? Um, I mean, if you multiply everything by 2, you can clamp it to 1, and then take the fractional component. Right. So then this becomes 1.5 and 0.5, and then you clamp, and this goes into 1 plus 0.5, and then you just get rid of 1. And you just have like a 0.5, right? That would be a perfectly valid way of doing it. Good fucking right. So that's a possibility. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I don't mind having that absolute value be vertical pipes. I don't know if that's something that can actually be done though. Right. Because there would be a lot of ambiguity in like bitwise and logical and stuff like that. Because like bitwise or is just so fucking useful. And they use vertical pipes for that. I'm also thinking about like what I want to do with tungsten. Like what kind of intrinsics and stuff do I want. Kind of math libraries and other situations. Because I want it to be modular. I want it to be community run and driven. And that's not exactly something that's going to be easy to pull off. Right? Because I don't want to do a bunch of work. Like I don't want I don't want to be the one to make the language. I just want the language to exist. Right? Um and I want to give myself enough like dials and knobs and shit that I can turn it into whatever fucking language I want. Effectively, right? Because I basically just want to have this substrate, this programming, this language substrate that you know that can do all these things. and what have you. Okay, so we have x plus 1. And we want x to be 0. Only when the column that the point is currently in is the only one the column that the point is not in is the same. Right? Because if the other column, if both of those are different, then you want to do stuff. Right? Technically speaking, this creates ambiguity. When it's a checkerboard, it breaks. But I think that it's not that big of a fucking deal because get fucked. Right? Get fucked. Um. So I'm still gonna have to figure out how to actually deliver all that shit, you know? So how do I actually want to do it? Because that's kind of a big question. No. Ah. Fuck. Fucking hell. Alright, how do we detect this? How do we detect it? Technically speaking, if it's a checkerboard, if both of these are the same, it's gonna incorrectly detect shit and it's just gonna not put into that sheet when there really should be. I mean, I'm okay with that, right? I'm fine. I don't need to catch every single edge case. Right? Like, that's not something we do. Um, hmm. Good for him. Hmm. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just messed around with my tablet stuff. Okay, so we have. So what exactly is it that we want to do? So we want to do x plus y. Right, that's how we want to. That's how we want to solve it. At least for now, we want to solve it via x plus y. That's the most universal thing. We don't have to worry about curves and garbage and all that shit. Right? We want to solve it with x plus y. I think this still holds. So no matter what, we have x plus y. And shit just gets kind of resolved, right? Um, yeah. So mhm. Mhm. um, what is it? It's um, yeah, it equals x plus y. Uh, it's uh-huh. Right? Yeah. So here, I mean, this is also really cool. Right? Because this is like flowy. Not as harsh. Like this is looks like there's a bunch of lights all over the place, which I think is pretty sweet. Pretty cool. I like that. Um, pretty colors. The visual snow is really bad. I don't like it. I don't like the way that it looks. Uh, I mean, I also honestly feel like I need to take it. Like, I have to be fucking passing out here. Oh, which is great, I guess. Fucking me. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see who's on. Um. I wonder when. Oh, I wonder when. Fucking Google stopped doing the AI mode. I wonder when they axed that. I'm surprised that they did. That's shocking. That's why I was so fucking upset when I realized that I couldn't do it anymore. And it's, because I was using it as a tool to, help me with doing things in a low, with low impact, on my systems. But, if that's not the case, then, I mean, I don't even technically have it. Whatever. I mean, the thing that I'm most upset about lately is just how fucking exhausted I become so quickly. Because, like, streaming doesn't take that much out of me. It's being fucking awake. Right? Like, it's not the act of streaming, it's the act of being conscious is just fucking draining. Because, like, streaming just doesn't. Like, I'm so used to making, like, YouTube videos and shit like that, that, like, streaming is making a video, but even more casual than like how I usually approach it. So it's like it's so much better. Like I feel like I have to actually exert effort when I'm making a video. Here I'm just talking to myself and
other people happen to exist, and that's incredible. I love it. So, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna write into this guy.
Soft type. Hey, it's a raid! Hey, kiddo, how's it going? How's all the everything? What you up to today?
Uh,
Is it because I need to fix this first and then you'll be happy? Let's just. Did you want that big work? I don't have to go fix it. So attributes and then skills. Additional tags. Wait, that's our location.